Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And also keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are just before market close on Tuesday, November 2nd. We're going to take a look at Lucid. Now, last week we did a video on Lucid and talking about this range that it had sort of been building for a long time, this sort of consolidation range, and talking then about the bigger the base, the bigger the move. And it had been building this since mid-March. So it's several months to be sort of stuck in these in this one zone. And it did indeed have a huge move up, gaining over 31% in a day, 377 plus million in volume. So just absolutely bananas. And it did a few things that day that I want to talk about just to kind of set the stage. So it broke out of this range, obviously. It flew through this resistance level, right? This uptrend resistance level. And it flew through the 32.98 resistance level. It then ended up settling itself just under these resistance levels. So this uptrend resistance level here in yellow, as well as the the price is so close, 35.68 resistance that we had plotted. And then it flipped it to support the subsequent days. Now today it's down a little over 4% at the moment, and so struggling to hold that, but it's kind of sticking itself right now between this 32.98 and this 35.68 levels with this candle today. That said, the candle taking shape quite nicely, definitely settling on the higher side of things, but what I was looking for initially, I should zoom myself back out here, what I was looking for initially was to see if it would pin itself. You see this sort of resistance level that is maintained from this big peak up here on this day where it came down 38.63%. The top of that wick and the top of this wick sort of forming this slight downtrend resistance, and was looking to see if it could potentially pin itself in this ascending triangle-ish type formation. Not quite, but close to ascending triangle formation, and maybe make a next big move out of there. So it's lost that for the time being. So I'll be sort of interested to see what it does in this spotlight, as I call it, where it has this uptrend resistance and this uptrend resistance, and both are moving away from each other. So they're not parallel, they're not going to intersect, but I'm looking for it to flip one of those to either support or resistance. Obviously the lower one to support, the higher one to resistance, and then make its next big move by pressing through one of the two of those. Or it may start treating it as an ever widening channel for at least a period of time and just kind of work itself in there. But the next things that I'd look for more immediately would be, does it hold that 32.98 support? And can it flip that 35.68 resistance to support? If it can do that, then it gives itself an opportunity to really push up against this uptrend resistance level and possibly even get itself back into this wedge and sort of play that wedge out and see what happens. But certainly I'd say this $35 mark is proving to be quite a challenging psychological level at the moment, and you may certainly find the same thing with 40 if and when it works itself back toward that level. Now on the indicator side of things, if folks are interested in that, obviously, I mean, a lot of these things are going to be obvious, right? MACD extended quite far up, now not really making a big cross toward, threatening a bearish crossover or anything at the moment, but something to keep an eye on for sure. RSI curling back down, so soon we'll be out of overbought territory, it looks like, and so that could maybe bring some relief from the selling pressure that it's seen the last couple of days. And the EMA is just in a fully bullish formation at the moment, and the price action getting closer to it, and oftentimes the closer that the price action is to the EMAs, the more in line you are with an advantageous risk to reward ratio if you are potentially jumping into a position. Now on the data side of things, we're going to take a look at that. Here's Ortex. Now not a ton of analysts. I mean, they still could use a lot more analyst coverage for sure, with Lucid, that could potentially help propel things. Maybe some new targets will come out now that this is so sort of outdated, especially if it can hold. I mean, the first thing it's going to have to do is hold, right? We talk about even if it holds between this, just call it 33 and 35.68 level, that could sort of bring some analysts to either upgrade their price targets or new analysts to come in and provide higher than existing price targets, and could be an extra sort of like tailwind for Lucid. But that price change over the last month, 38.44%. So congrats if you caught that or caught some of it, and happy that we called the breakout in last week's video, sort of several days before it really made its big move. Actually, I don't know if that's the case. I can't remember what date that came out, but this broke out on the 28th. I mean, I don't think it was that frenzied day, but I would have to go back and look. In any case, the short data side of things, now the question is always like, how much do shorts pile in when something like this happens? Just sort of expecting the drawdown or the retracement. So utilization up a bit over 50 at this point. Cost to borrow basically non-existent. Days to cover on the lower end of things. So shorts certainly not hanging out, potentially fearful that there could be an additional run coming in the near future. Now, estimated short interest percentage of the free float has come down, a bit over 1%, or I guess, well, as the percentage of short, but the change in the percentage down over 15.5%, 8.38 down to 7.08. So today we see Ortex estimating it's up almost 3%, but still just sitting at 7.29% of the free float being shorted, again, per Ortex estimates. Utilization coming down quite a bit too from a week ago, down over 30% from a week ago. So certainly, the short interest might not have been tremendously high, not like we've seen some stocks in the past year or so, but even that, shorts feeling the I guess raging pressure that they would have been under on this day, being up over 30%, probably a bunch closed up shop, and that certainly contributed to spurring some of that rally there. But at this point, it doesn't appear as though they've sort of just closed up shop and then turned around and opened new positions or something like that. But time will tell for sure if they come in and try to add a bunch of pressure to the stock or not. But this is where I see things at the moment. Looking to see what it does with this 35.68 and this 32.98. Looking to see if it can work itself back into this wedge. If so, I would just say that that's back in play. And if not, we'll sort of like keep tracking it. I'm going to keep covering Lucid weekly for the time being. I'm going to plan to do it on Tuesdays or Wednesdays every single week. So if that's interesting to you, feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell. All right, folks. In any case, I appreciate you watching, and I hope your trading week is off to a good start. I will see you in the next video.